Syya. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Sia is not with us. Sleepy Ears the Unstoppable is on an awesome adventure right now.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? I thought for a second there, I was like, you had gone hype a little pitch up in pitch or something.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be a lot more calm energy. More. The ladies are here hosting together, right? Me and you. Um, so yeah, Sia,
Yes.
we love Sia. Man, she's on an awesome adventure, and I just got to give her
Yes.
a shout out for giving us this coaching and giving me an opportunity, Raquel, to be here today. Uh, I love her. I would have been losing my proverbial stuff if I had to deal with the crap everybody go to Sia. She don't need a last name. You type in Syya on LinkedIn, go to her profile and see
Hmm.
what she's been up to. Okay. I would have lost my stuff, not publicly.
Oh,
You know, and here she is just making a venture out of it, man. So
yes. But you
Sia,
know
you're
what?
we're with you.
That's what's the amazing part of this is, right? We are in this together. We learn, we rise with one another. And like she says, all boats rise with the tide. So I love it. But anyhow, welcome, guys. Happy Saturday. Yay. I hope you guys are doing some fantastic things. And I know you are glued to your, mobile device or your desktop at the moment, trying to chime in. Please let us know where you're chiming in the comments from. I always love to say shout outs. I always love to see our international audience. But yeah, so today we have a jam packed show. It's very important because I know who's not, I mean, raise your hand if you're, sending kids back to school if they're not already in school. I mean, I can tell you, I cannot wait for my kids to go back to school. They have been driving me nuts this summer. Although I may say we've created some wonderful memories, but I'm like, okay, it's time. Mama needs a break, a break.
Oh yeah.
So we have fantastic, educational experts who will be, letting us know how to prepare as from parents' side, and also how to be there as the best versions of ourselves for our children during the school year. So, but yeah, so without further ado, let's go ahead and start the show, and I will be right back. Okay, let's run the intro. Hey y'all, welcome to my corner. This is your girl Raquel, aka Raki. Step into our world of connections where I'm a proud Hounds of Business Pack leader, which is a community of entrepreneurs committed to sharing positivity, growing together, and never forgetting to inject some fun. Get to know amazing people in this safe space, so come and join me in my connection corner.
And
Hey.
dance.
Hey.
And dance.
Hey. Oh, you gotta see. You already know that that's how we do it. And dance. And dance. But yes,
Like a
this
redneck
is
robot.
is that what is that? I don't even know what that is. Oh my goodness. But
I
yeah,
try.
guys, this is the idea. It's for us to be able to dance, for us to be able to celebrate our wins, whether they're small or big wins of the week. It's one of those things that we love to do that. You know why? Because if you don't celebrate yourself, then if nobody does, then you need to. Like that's how I see it. So tell me one of your wins for this week, Mike, and I'll have the audience chime in as well. Tell us, share with us so we can
Oh my
celebrate with
gosh.
you.
Well, hey, because and I don't take credit for nothing good, man. I take credit. I give you and Sia and all the amazing hounds that love on me every day. But hey, I got my top voice badge for Byte Business Networking.
Oh my
Um, that's
gosh.
super cool. Yeah. So thank
I
you,
don't have the
friend.
soundboard, so I'm sorry. So clapping for you.
I'm
There's
glad you
Sia.
don't. That's the silver lining of Sia being like stranded in somewhere in Dallas right now. With no
Oh
soundboards that make me go,
my
what is that? Yeah, so, but,
gosh.
but yeah, I had
Congrats. Oh my gosh.
and a couple more. Like so many people were just killing it today, man. Like so many, we
Mm-hmm.
had the greatest show Wednesday. So we had Henrietta, Tracy Lamb, Brian Segray, Josh, who did I miss? Dr. Z. That show was off the hook, man. That was
Mm-hmm.
amazing. And I love seeing those ladies exploding. So yeah, you're gonna have to cut me off because so many wins this week. How about you?
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes, I learned a couple of new things, to add to my bag of tricks. But that's the thing. I always like learning each and every day. It sounds so cliche, but I do. I love learning just because it's one of those things that it fulfills my soul. It feels like I'm being useful in life, and that this is something that I can teach others, right? So I love it. I love it. Talking about teaching, Sia, love you. Thank you so much. I know she's even stopping by in the comments. I hope everything's okay. And yeah, just keep rocking it. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to be here today and pretty much showcasing what you teach. So I love that. Oh my goodness. Okay, so a couple more shout outs. And then we are going to thank the sponsors who make this show a possibility, y'all. But yeah, let's see. So I saw Chris in the comments. Chris, hi, thank you, brother, for coming in. We love you. Shout out to everyone who's tuning in. Hello, Erica. And then we do have
Phil
an
Davis.
international. Huh?
Phil Davis. Hey, buddy, good to see you.
Oh,
Phil Davis is a
hi.
mutual friend of Becky Wolf, so good to see you, Phil, man.
Good to see you. Hey, yeah, Deepak. I'm assuming you're from the other side of the world. It's probably their day is finishing at this moment, I think. Hi, Yolanda, another fellow Texan. We love you. We love you. Thank you for being here this morning. And hello, Mr. Michael. This is I think it's the first time I see Michael Hardiman. Hello. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. But yeah, let us know. So today's topic is very important, right? One of the main reasons why is because we are already going through that, or we're about to go through that, or some people's are already like like halfway through it, I think, like of actually sending their kids back to school. But to me, it's such an important topic because it's one of those things that sometimes we feel that we're prepared, but at the end of the day you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot that. Or after endless list of checklists, you forget something, and I know I'm very hard on myself, and I feel so bad sometimes, and I'm just like, oh gosh, I forgot that. How could I? But anyways, that's the side of me. How do you feel about that, Mike? Are you prepared?
This year is wild because I don't even go to the gas station. I hardly leave my house, which I like. I'm doing COVID like 4 years after COVID. Like, I now stay home. I don't do anything. My kids are homeschooled, which is why I'm here to share that experience because it wasn't always. And it presents a whole set of new challenges we'll get into. But uh, yeah, I don't miss the buses messing up the adding 20 minutes
Mm.
to my drive time to my office. Um, I'm probably gonna go to my office and every 3 months just dust the cobwebs out and then come back home, off school hours, right? So, no,
Mhm.
yeah, that's my
Okay.
perspective. That
Okay.
made
Well,
any sense at all.
no, no, it made sense. It made complete sense. Well, before we bring the ladies on, I definitely want to be able to shout out our possible, sponsors who make this possible, just because it's very important, right? We need to let them know how much we appreciate them. So, first of all, Tausi, Janice Shokran, thank you so much. I have my Tausi right there. You see it right there. Where is yours?
It's a good question. I need to buy, like, 6 of them because the cats, the kids, and everybody stole mine. So, like, we're all in this battle of
Goodness.
hiding the Towsie. So
Yes,
I just need to
yes.
get more Towsies.
Yes, no, I luckily, mine has been safeguarded, so I have mine. But yes, so Tausi, shout out to you, Janice. I know there's so many fantastic things going on right now. I love it. This is why I love this community, because there's so many things in the background that are happening that people just really don't know as a community of the hounds what we're doing. And so shout out to you, Janice. I know you are traveling at the moment, I believe. So safe travels to you. We love you. Please come back in one piece. All right, and the next one is, who is it? I wonder who it is. Mike, tell
I
us a
have no
little bit
idea.
about you.
Hey, so I am the redneck financial coach and leader of the Hounds of Business community. I will get it out. Um, and again, as Raquel is always saying, I mean, we're just a community of entrepreneurs who just want to get stuff done, and we center around LinkedIn. But our main tenet is the foundation of reciprocity, kindergarten skills, and pushing other people up. Again, we're not
Amen.
saying we're better or than anyone else, and we have a lot of folks who come from other groups and communities. But what really separates us is that, we're vetted and we're serious. And when you got some winners in the business that put their name onto you, there's nothing
Yep.
better. I mean, you have 5 followers coming to the hounds and start doing major business. There's something to that. So, all the folks that we see around here, I mean, iron sharpens iron, man, like Sia says.
Yep.
So on
Absolutely.
August 24th, all right, this coming third, well, this coming Thursday at 1 p.m. New York City time for you international folks. We are international. So 1 p.m. New York City Eastern time, town hall. If you can't make it because you live in a different country or continent, no worries. You'll get a recording from that. You can
Mhm.
apply and join, but there's no charge. Not yet, anyways. Get on the ground floor of everything, right? Because I can't afford to keep growing this thing. It's just massive, but a humongous
But it's
collaborations to be the
amazing.
best. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing, and just the type of individuals who are coming in from different industries, and this is why I love it. Surrounding ourselves with an eclectic community, right? It's the best. So, Hounds of Business, man, check it out, you guys. It's next Thursday. You said it's 1 p.m., right? That's what you said? 1 p.m. Okay. Yeah, because I didn't have your graphic because you didn't say that. So, but
I
anyways,
know.
guys, if y'all don't know how to, find that information, please reach out to any of us on this panel today, and we will be able to guide you. So, thank you, Mike, for being one of the main sponsors of this program. Without you, I would not be here, and I always keep saying that because it is true. Our next sponsor is Brilliant Bean Media. Shout out to y'all and to Syya, the mastermind behind everything. I know she couldn't be here with us today, but she's an amazing individual for all your needs in digital marketing. My gosh, she's there. You need something, to come and show up better in camera and graphics. Like, she will teach you so much, and her team is just, they're fantastic. So please give him a shout out. Give Connect with them to reach out to Sia, because, like I said, she will make you anything she touches. Like I said, magic fingers. Anything she touches turns to gold, and I mean that.
Yeah. And she's the official, sponsor the official media company of the Hounds. I mean, she
Yes,
makes me look good. So what else needs to be said, right? I mean, the woman and all the content, a lot of the things you see around there, you're not even aware of it. They're in
yes,
industry wide. So she can do a coaching show, she can do this show, my show, and she does tech shows. They're all entertaining, man. So if you want not just to do something, but she can help it make be visible. If people want to
absolutely.
see, I watched the tech show the other day. Could you imagine? I don't have an Etch a Sketch anymore, and I'm over here enjoying a daggum tech show because it's so engaging and I can understand it. So that's the quality of work that Sia brings to the table. I can't gush on her enough. She's well earned. All right, well earned, worth every daggum penny and
Again,
investment
oh
too.
my God.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mm.
All right, I'll stop. I'll stop.
Yeah, I know. So, hey, cheers to you, to that sip. Till y'all sip on coffee, tea, whatever it is that y'all sipping on, sip on it. Every time Mike, this is a game. Every time Mike says "dadgummit," y'all sip. That's just the way it is. That's tradition here. But yes, thank you so much. Like I said, and then our last one, but not least, oh my gosh, Safe and Sound. And this is a TV show, guys. If y'all have not heard of it, I have a little graphic here to show you all what it is about. Just because, it's one of those things that if you missed it, now it is your time to actually. It is a last call to let you know. Hey, if y'all want to come here and get some information about how to feature your your product, is your healthcare product, whatever it is. But Safe and Sound is basically in partnership with Caregiving Worldwide Network, and as well as these fantastic phenomenal ladies, Christina and Cindy. My gosh, they're superstars in TikTok and YouTube in the caregiving world. If y'all don't know much about that, I know I've been hitting that so hard this week just because we want to get the word out. But this is your last call to spotlight your product. If you have whether it's patented, they'll review it for you. If you get on the show, they'll do so many different variations of showing your product. So yeah, reach out. And how to reach out to them is you're going to email for the moment, but you can also reach out to me. We'll be able to give you more information in that, and send you to the right way. But this is the last call. We have a few more days only before they select all the different individuals and entrepreneurs and products that are going to be showcased starting in October. Okay, the shows will feature, or they will premiere in October. Woo, that was a mouthful. Yes,
And
Mike.
well, hey, again, this is not just about pushing and connecting products, man. This is about people,
Mhm.
hardworking folks taking care of their loved ones or care partners that, it's about improving the quality of life for that person that's struggling and suffering that you're taking care of, but
Yep.
also your own sanity and peace of mind. And there's things out there to make your time enjoyable. So you don't have to struggle. You can actually enjoy your time with your loved one. And that's what this is about. Highly vetted, unbelievable, no BS. I am 1000% because even if you don't have an experience right now, you probably know someone close to you who does need this. And so everybody
Mhm.
has a vested interest to spread the word because this is going to be daggone life changing for so many people. So if you got a vendor, product, something out there that benefits the mankind in the world, helps
Mhm.
caregivers and loved ones, don't hesitate. Get on. That's my advice.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely. So yeah, like I said, this is your last opportunity. So make sure you email info@caregivingworldwide.com or just reach out to one of us and we'll be able to direct you to the right place. But oh my gosh, so are we ready to get these ladies here because they're amazing. I love them and they've been waiting backstage patiently. So tell us, are you guys ready?
oh my
Nobody's saying anything. They're like, "What, Raquel? Just hush and bring them on." All right, ladies, let's go. Woohoo! How are
that's
y'all?
your
Welcome.
soundboard.
I don't have it. So yes, I know. See, that's the magic
Hey,
touch that we miss from Syya. You know, she's always doing that for us. But welcome, ladies. Thank you so much for being here. Well, ladies and gents. Well, but I'm gonna say ladies in general. Thank you so much for being here on this Saturday. But we have such an important topic to discuss because, like I said, as parents, we're all gonna go through this. So go ahead and please let us know who you are and what you do, and then we'll get right into the actual discussion. So let's start with you, Tabatha, since you are the first one that is on my right hand corner. He's
First one on the
There you go.
screen for sure, right?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
I
Go
thank
for
you
it.
so much. My name is Tabitha Barron, and I am the founder of Keeping Your Kids Safe, located here in Houston, in the Houston area. Keeping Your Kids Safe is committed to keeping your school out of the headlines by helping each student effectively communicate their way home as we send real-time text messages to the family and instantaneous notifications to the admins as they're dismissing your children. We also make sure to take care of the walkers and the bikers, the car riders, and the child care bus riders, as well as the yellow bus riders, because our goal is we are keeping your kids safe.
Amazing,
Are you
amazing.
still here?
Love that. Yes. No, you're good. All right, Christine, can you hear us?
Hi, thank you for having me. Yes, I'm here. I'm a teacher and I've been teaching now for 30 years. I'm also a parent of three children that are now full grown. So I have a perspective from the parent side as well as the school side about how to get our children ready for school and how to keep them safe. And I'm very excited to be here today to share with you all. And thank you very much for inviting me.
Awesome, awesome. No, thank you for being here. Oh my gosh, we love it. Like I said, this is one of those topics that we really need to discuss. All right, and Kristen.
Hi, everyone. Thank you again for having me as well. I have over 24 years experience in both special and general education, as well as district compliance for special education, Medicaid
Mhm.
504, and recently did a pivot and left public education and took a job working as a national professional development specialist and coach. So I'm working directly with teachers and getting to go in and help them hands-on in the classroom.
Fantastic. And like I said, this is why we love you guys and appreciate everything that you all do because it is hard work in the background. But okay, but last but not least, my co-host for the day, but he's also here to discuss his experience as a parent. And yeah, let us know who you are, sir. You are a mute, my friend.
hey, that would help. Yeah. So obviously not Sia. All right. So I'm building a business, right? Redneck Financial Coach. We're growing the Hounds of Business community, and
Mhm.
my daughter is homeschooled. This is the second year. Well, there's an interesting story. We'll call it the second year. But that produces so many other challenges that wow, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to come here and get some advice because
Mhm.
whew, at times it's just it's really tough. And so there's single dads, there's parent dads, there's tag team, married couples that, so hopefully I can raise some questions and hopefully there's some guys in the audience that will chime in because this is a brilliant panel when it comes to safety and doing things and how
Mhm.
to handle all the stress and challenges that comes with not just public school or private school, but homeschool, man, it's a different set of worms. So I'm pleasure to be here. And I'm super excited for this free advice from this panel. You didn't tell them. You don't remind them they're giving it free advice. They might
Oh,
not get it.
Jesus.
Yeah, take notes, everybody. Gee whiz, something's wrong with me.
Oh
Hey, bump in the
my God.
comments and ask questions, man, and y'all be out your mind. Go ahead, cheerlead, network in the comments.
Yes, absolutely. Well, this is for me is very interesting because I don't know anything about homeschooling. My girls have, gone into the normal public school system, right? So hearing about the homeschooling side and how that the intricacies of it and the dynamics of how to prepare as parents to, how we can come together to make that happen because it is a difficult thing. So for me, my children are still home. So for those who, I know that there's various different districts that go in at different times, but my children go in at the end of this month. I cannot wait because like I said, mom is pulling her hairs out and it's one of those things that has been a rough summer. But what would you advise to me? What would your advice for me be in preparing? Like, what are the essentials? So I'll start with Kristin, if you don't mind.
Sure. I think the biggest thing is making sure that you've got everything kind of lined up and ready to go for that first day of school. Your kids are going back to a new grade level. So making sure if there is an open house at school that you can attend that. Those kinds of events are crucial to get to know the teacher, see what, supplies are needed. But that open communication and building that line of communication right from the get-go, I think is probably the most important thing as a parent that you can do to help a teacher out is form that relationship and that open line of communication so that you can have that, throughout the year.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the most important things for me, as a mom, that knowing that I can go to orientation, at least get all that information. But unfortunately, there are many parents who miss that, right? Whether this because of work, and when you do that, you miss a lot of the key information that will take you through the rest of the year. So, what would you say for individuals who are not able to make it? How do you tell them to get that information or build that rapport with the teacher?
Great question. I think one of the things that I saw COVID provide, the silver lining coming from COVID was schools learned how to kind of think outside of the box in terms of ways to get information out and disseminate, multiple different, ways because of the fact that they're not only parents that can't physically get there, but they're parents that don't understand the language or that don't understand why it's even important to be there. So, by reaching out through multiple modalities, whether it be websites, phone calls that go home from the school, individual at the beginning of the year where we pick up the phone and we make phone calls to kids that are assigned to us. When I worked as a behavior specialist, I was in charge of kind of trying to reach out to those at-risk kids that we have trouble rounding up at the beginning of the year and giving personal invitations of don't forget open houses coming up. We also provided transportation for parents and students, that lived outside of walking distance, as another way that helped out. And we held it in the evenings so that parents a lot of times hopefully were off of work. So that was, just some of the ways that we tried to combat some of those issues.
And that's really nice because, like I said, for individuals who aren't able to make it, at least they know that they are being, counted in and they feel included in all the activities. I'm so glad that you brought that up, the language, right? The language barriers, not just we automatically think of Spanish, but oh my gosh, so many different cultures that are here, so many different languages that things will need to be translated to. Lucky if they have that information, in that specific language. If not, then they will need a translator. So they will have to prepare 3 times more than any normal parent would. My gosh. So thank you so much for bringing that up. Christine, I know you're like wanting to say something.
Yes. Oh, I always have something to say. Anyway, I was thinking, so I just went back to school this week. And so my view is a little bit different. So I'm glad that we're having this conversation now because in a few more weeks, I might not remember some of these key points. But one of the things that happen quite frequently is that children come to school, they go by their street name. So it's like, hey, my name's Baby Zeus. Well, Baby Zeus doesn't know their first name, their last name, or anything. And we're looking in their backpack. We don't know who they are. So it's important to have somewhere in there. I know that there's safety issues on the other side. The parents are like, I don't want to put my child's name on anything because if somebody were to take them, then they'd have all of this information. But the school needs information too. So I keep on asking, how are you getting home? How are you getting home? And I made it real clear to let me know. Well, then parents don't communicate with me. They think that they know how their child's getting home. I don't know how their child's getting home though. So I have to keep on making phone calls, a lot of phone calls, to ensure that the children are getting home safely, which kind of will piggyback off of what Tabatha is going to be talking about with school safety and bus safety. But it is a real issue. So, or a parent will tell me, oh, it's bus number such and such. Well, I write down that bus such and such. It's not the right bus. So it's real important that we have close communication, because ultimately it falls back on me as a teacher. So even if a parent doesn't communicate to me, I get called into the office and say, why didn't you do this? So it's very important that we are able to communicate with one another, and to be able to communicate effectively to keep our students safe. And safety is huge on everybody's minds,
Absolutely.
especially sending our children to school. We want to keep them safe.
I know, and I'm glad that you brought that up, because we do have one of the experts in the house who specializes in that, as how to get your child to and from school safely. So Tabatha, please chime in that.
Yeah, so I'm glad. Look, we're able to bring the next one up easy. So all of us are doing the same thing, right? First of all, I'd like to commend everybody for doing their part, understanding that you're part of the equation. One of the things that I notice is a lot of times you see that so many people only want to say, I have it all on lock. We do not. We need other people that are going to be able to support you. So for getting your children to and from school, one of the things that bothers me the most, and this is one of the things that the reasons why I started building the program that I built, the platform that I built. One is that please don't put your child's name on their backpacks. Stop doing that, please. Okay, I don't know what else to tell you. If you can see his name is Charlie, that means the predators can see that his name is Charlie. So if he calls out Charlie's name, guess what Charlie is going to do? He is going to turn around and respond to that person. This says, that person must know me because they called my name. Meanwhile, you just gave the predator a way into your child, to your child. Hi, Charlie, on Monday. Hi, Charlie, on Wednesday. Hi, Charlie, on Friday. You want to see my puppy? That's how quickly and easily that mess happens. So please stop putting your children's names on their backpacks. The other thing is that when you leave your car rider tags in the windows and hanging from your rearview mirrors, stop doing that. We now know your child's name. We know what grade they're in. And I see you in the grocery store parking lots. I see you at the 7-Eleven. I see you driving in other areas. Guess what? If I see you and notice that card goes to ABC Elementary, I now know that your child's name is Christian. His last name is Green. I can figure out his kindergarten, and I can pull up and say, oh, I'm here to pick up this person. You're giving too much information to people who do not have your best interests at heart. And so that's the other thing I will say. And then remember that kids make decisions. They don't always want to go to childcare. They don't always want to go on the bus that you're sending them there. So just be mindful of that. And we can't blame the teachers for all these things. Build a village around you that's going to be helping you and your child have a successful school year. That's how this is going to work. Because I've seen it where the neighbor says, your mom's not home, come with me because I can't have you out there, right? Or I don't remember you being a walker. So I can't walk home with you. I have to verify that you are able to walk home today, and start asking those questions back to the teacher, to the dismissal team. All of these things are like no cost to make sure that child is safe. But the added benefit is our program, which actually allows you to get the text message. Can you imagine having a text message sent to you and somebody saying, hey, you're going to Children's Learning Center today. And you're like,
Mhm.
I didn't sign them up for Children's Learning Center. And
Right.
you're able to
Uh,
then call the school and say, hold up, wait, that's not where my child's supposed to go. That is
mhm.
the beauty of our program, because now you're involved in the dismissal process in a way that you are not having that involvement today. So these are
Mhm.
different things that I have noticed, and I have seen some stuff on them on the campuses, and my heart goes out to the dismissal teams that are trying their best, and shame on those other ones who are ignoring these children. But those
Oh
are
my
a few of the
gosh.
points that I can actually bring
Hey,
out today.
Oh my
dude,
gosh,
I
like no joke. I'm glad that she brought that up, and I'm over here. That triggers something backstage because everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, I had this happen to me." So, Mike, please, share that story that you were telling us.
Yeah, I forgot all about it until Tabatha talked, and again, it's sad because our teachers are going through so much anyway. They're supposed to teach. I mean, that's the old, like, that's the whole point for centuries. They're supposed to teach, but now they have to worry about safety and logistics and, rule makers at the top and the parents being mad, and they're sandwiched into that. So I love what you do, Tabitha, that you're trying to take that, that important thing and make sure it gets taken care of well so the teachers can teach, administrators can do administration. But when you said that, I remember when I was probably 6 to 8 years old max, and, a truck pulled up with me and my friend and said, "Hey, your mom asked me to pick you up," right? And they had them little '80s, them '80s videos about screaming stranger danger and stuff. I was textbook, man. I remember he saying, "Come on, I got some," like, I was waiting for him to say, "I got some candy," right? He never did. But on a serious note, I yelled, "No," and I ran home with my little backpack. My buddy got in the car. Now, however, it was legit, that the dude was, he took him home. I think it was like a third cousin or something. But man, and it's even worse nowadays. Back then, you couldn't track everybody on every daggone thing. Right? You can track people based on a picture nowadays. I mean, there's a guy does it on YouTube. So, gosh, like, how do you go? How do you ensure it today without being ultra paranoid, right? Like, it's just such a hard balancing act. It's insanity. I don't know. Like, who else can relate to that? And what can we do about it, ladies?
Yeah, Christine, I think you were sharing something. Yeah, are you on mute?
I'm
Okay.
unmuted. The huge it is a huge safety is a huge issue, and like we've all mentioned before, it's going to take a group effort
Mhm.
to work together to help ensure the safety of our children, but it takes strong communication skills. And I think the first thing is what I do with my parents is I actually call them before school ever starts,
Mm.
and I ask them, how will your child be getting home from school? Who can pick up your child? And so if they start listing off a bunch of people, I say, put it in writing, please. And so I'll photocopy that and
Oh.
give that to the office. So those are some things that you might want to consider. If there's restraining orders, those need to be sent to the office. If you're in a divorce and there's certain situations where a parent cannot be notified, those things need to be on file because teachers get caught up in those kinds of situations too. You wouldn't think so, but I've had two parents come in before, then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, we can't talk. You can't talk to this parent," but they were just in a group meeting. So those are things that I I try to tread very carefully, but I think I have all my bases covered, but I don't always. And then, I ask if there's any paperwork. There's no paperwork to follow. Then we're put in a real tight and a hard
Mhm.
situation.
Mhm.
So I think it's just the close communication
Mhm.
that we all need.
Well, I can definitely attest to that, Christine. What you just brought up. My children come from a split home, and there has to be clear and concise communication between both parties and the school and all the entities that come across. I've had situations where, the dad wasn't supposed to pick up the girls, but he went, and they had to call me. So the school did act, but you don't think about those things. You're like, yeah, you don't think that anybody's going to try to pick up your child, but you just never know in this day and age what is going on with people's heads and their minds and their plans. So it's best to err on the side of caution, like no joke. And luckily, because my daughters are neurodiverse, I do have quite a a good rapport with the teachers and with the school system, and but they communicate with everything. Any little intricacy that happens in school, they communicate. But I would imagine that this has a lot of responsibility that falls on the teacher. Kristin, I know you've probably seen those. They have to stay on top with what each child needs, especially if they're in the 504 plan. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, and the other thing that jumped into my head is the last few years I was in public education, I was on bus duty more, in the evenings, and 80% of our students were, bus riders. And there were nights where school got out at 3:40, but I would still be there at 5:30 with a child that either missed the bus or, ride didn't show up, because I couldn't let them just leave any way that, we could, any way that they wanted to. And parents had a hard time with that. They'd say, well, just let them walk home, or just let them, do whatever. We couldn't do that. So that was very difficult because of that safety component, for sure. And that pressure that's on a teacher of, you put a child on a bus, you are responsible, you are the one that put them on there. Making sure that they get to the other end is out of your control once that door closes and the bus pulls out. So, I know that that's something that's always been in the back of my head a concern, because I have had students that have fallen asleep on the bus and missed their stop, and the bus driver didn't realize until they got back to the bus lot or whatever. And that's terrifying for a parent, especially a parent of a child with special needs, that goes missing and they don't know where the child is.
Oh my
It, it,
goodness. Hmm.
it's not
But
even just it's a problem for homeschool, because a lot of homeschool, including us, we have that social aspect that we're most concerned about, right? So our kids not getting that 6 hours of interaction a day with kids. So that leaves us in a position to go find after school programs, or homeschool like supplement programs, like we're doing. Different churches and whatnot do that, and that presents even challenges. Like my daughter's not going to get on a bus and get lost, but what if we pick the wrong place, right? Like this is less regulated than public school. I mean, it's not regulated. So, the safety issue is for everyone. I mean, if you're working, most parents work, and your kid's homeschooling, if somebody knocks on the door, like, there's you just have to be cognizant and have a good system in place. And that's why Tabitha is so useful, because if the teachers like you two don't have to keep worrying about it, and the parents don't have to worry about it, now we can get down to brass tacks, which is teaching our dadgum kids catching up from COVID, right? Am I wrong, or am I hitting it? I think everybody in America is going, yep.
yep.
That's why.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Please,
yeah,
can we get on with teaching?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
There is one point I wanted to make, though, if I could.
Yeah, go for it.
One point is that it's not just the adults that are struggling. Every time we have an incident that happens and it impacts the adult, it absolutely 100% impacts that child. I think that there's so often I hear people glossing over what that child felt. And that's the one thing. And it's just part of our terminology and how we choose to communicate. But if I have anxiety about going to school because of something has happened there, that child's anxiety is worse. And the reason why I equate it as being worse is because I have coping skills that they have yet to adopt, right? So they don't know that tomorrow is going to be better, that tomorrow is going to feel different, and that tomorrow can change. But the adults do. They recognize this is a minute or a minute, right? And so we can take that time and we can figure out how to process and cope with that. But we have to include, I strongly, I cannot impress upon us enough. We have to get to the place where we help these children process and learn how to cope with these things that we are having to deal with as an adult. So going back to school is fun. And you, Raquel, you sound like my mom. I can't wait. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Can't wait for y'all to go to school, right? Right. And I was like, I'm offended. Most of the time, I was like, what is happening? I'm offended. But
Yeah,
my
yes.
but my mom, she was like, this is the part of learning that I can teach you, right? They have to fill in the gaps of what I cannot teach you. So I need to send you to school. And so I understood that. And so, but that's part of the village, right? Because home teaches you foundational work that you'll use for the rest of your life. School teaches you the books, and the education is understanding your history, your present, and what your future potentially looks like. And the village teaches you to put your parameters and your boundaries in place in order to get your life straight to what you want it to be. That's a village. That's how we create healthy, harmonious children.
Oh my
That's what I'm
gosh.
saying. So that's why I feel like we've got to kind of do that, right? But that's my only point I need to. I'm gonna go on mute now.
Well, no, no. I mean, that's a golden nugget right there. I will drop my mic, but it was expensive, so I can't do it. So just for you, I know, right? No, don't do it. But yes,
Don't
you
do
are
it.
right. So the thing is, Tabatha, I'm a single mommy, so it's like they're with me 24/7. So mama needs a little break in the breather room, and I'm just like, okay, school is that for me. I'm able to do a lot of things while they're away, especially if I'm working hybrid or fully remote. I'm able to really do things at home and get it organized and get myself together for them, because if they don't have a happy and content mom, then obviously that's going to translate to the child. There's going to, we're going to impart it on them. So what would you tell a parent? What would be your advice to say, oh my gosh, okay, slow your roll, de-stress? What are some techniques to help alleviate that stress that causes on parents? And anyone can take this if you like. Go ahead, Christine.
Okay, so I have 3 children. They're growing, but all 3 of my children have extra needs. And so there was doctor's appointments, there were sporting events, and I was torn in a lot of different areas. My ex-husband was coaching, so it was on me to be able to maneuver all of that. So I had one spot for everything. I had schedules that were listed on my refrigerator, and I had a main one. So I would always cross reference. I had all 3 schedules up. I wrote it down, checked the dates, and made sure that I didn't miss anything. Their backpacks were always in one location, shoes in one place, everything was there. So they pretty much dropped everything at the door. If we did homework, they took their backpacks with them so I could check inside the backpacks, take any permission slips out, signing permission slips right away as soon as I receive them, because it helps the teacher. The teacher takes has to take time out of their schedule every day. So the quicker that we sign those permission slips, the more teaching time that the teacher has. I know it sounds kind of silly, but it works. So that's what I was
Mhm.
thinking about too.
Yes, absolutely. Anyone else want to take a stab at that? No,
Just,
Christine.
yeah, just jumping in real quick, thinking about what Christine was saying too. Everybody is talking about, oh, back to school, back to school. Teachers don't really stop. That's something that, we forget, that teachers are constantly working. And, I can guarantee that, pre-service days before school starts, people are sitting in professional development and meetings and all that kind of stuff. 9 times out of 10, those teachers have come in on their own time to get their room set up, because they are so stressed out about making sure that's finished before the pre-service days. Because I know somebody in this group that did that. I wonder who. And that's something that, I think we lose track of. Teachers are constantly working. When I was a classroom teacher, or even as a support staff behavior specialist, there were many nights I woke up thinking about other kids, other people's children, and worrying about them, and spending, lots of time trying to figure out ways to support children, and that, that they become our kids. And that's something else that I think a lot of people forget, that we're not just their teacher, we're their counselor, their mentor, their friend, their parent. A lot of times teachers are wearing so many different hats these days.
Yeah, no, and I can completely vouch for that. Sometimes I see the nurturing care the teachers bring to my daughters, and I can only imagine that's a lot of responsibility that they are carrying on the shoulders, because they're an extension of us as parents. I see that, and all the teachers out there, bless you guys. Thank you so much for what you do. Just because I know it's so difficult sometimes to deal with all the different personalities, deal with all the intricacies that individuals have going on, the kids going on, let alone their parents. That the parents is a different set of issues, especially if they have different views, right? So like I said, I'm speaking from experience that it's been quite a battle in the last few years. But as my daughters get a little older, they're able to speak on their behalf and able to voice things. So it's a little bit easier. Nevertheless, it doesn't, it doesn't lower the fear of many things that can go wrong, right? Mike, you were going to chime in too.
Yeah, first of all, hats off to anybody who's still teaching. Please keep teaching. We need you. It's
Hmm.
seriously the biggest underpaid, overworked profession that it used to be firefighting, right? That's why I got into it because you're cool. Everybody likes firemen. We get stuff for free, right? Not like cops do, but still, I mean, we're getting there. But daggone, do like teachers? Oh man, because I have my sister-in-law. I mean, there you are. Everybody's at Labor Day weekend, and she's grading papers. Now, it would be real easy for a guy like me just to slap grades on it and get the hell out of there. But she's actually taking the time to bring the quality. I know she ain't getting paid. She's got too much, stress and pressure and underappreciation. So, but from my experience, as because my kids did go to school, and again, other children have, a lot of people have the ADHD and lots of other issues, and it's just overwhelming to the school system. So I guess my question is really more of a question. Whether you're a homeschool dad, whether you're a single dad, whatever, I think here's the funny part. I mean this as best as possible. Sometimes the school forgets that we're just dad. Like a lot of times in a married, partnership or divorce, the mom is the one that kind of takes over, right? Not always, but mom knows. Like mom knows social security number. She knows all that stuff. Like when I go to the pharmacy and they're like, "What's her social?" I'm like, "Oh, you better grab a Snickers, man. I'm back in the lineup. I'm looking at my taxes, trying to find the daggum social security number stuff." Like, oh, so like, what advice do you ladies have for just dumb dad like me? Because I'm just I'm like pinch hitting. Like I'm not in the middle of all of the know-how. So this is a problem. I try to pay attention. I can't even drive through the school line. She said, take the kid to school. And I'm like, I'm scared because I'm looking at this map with arrows and I don't know what it's doing. So I'm over here going the wrong way. Beep, beep. People are mad at me. I'm screaming language we shouldn't be at school. I mean, so anyway, advice do you have for dads out there who are like, oh, please don't let the ball come to me. If my wife or partner gets sick, I'm in deep trouble. Good Lord. What do we do here?
All right, I have a suggestion.
I'm trying not to laugh so hard. I'm sorry.
It
It's
sounds like. So once you get the clue phone, you could probably try to do some dry runs and then maybe even just doing like a sheet for like your children's information and then being able to write that down. So that's what I would advise. Have your daughter drive it through since she knows how to do it. So those, and give her some more accountability and responsibility. So those would be some of the suggestions that I would do. She can take the leadership role. Also, if you weren't a homeschool parent, I would advise to come in and volunteer. So I had a dad come in and volunteer in the schools, and I absolutely loved it. He was a bigger guy, and you could tell he worked out every single day, but he got right down on the floor and did mindful moments with our students. And it was such a powerful experience. And he would sit and do morning meeting, and he would help with the different centers. So it's nice to see a male role model being able to show a softer side and show compassion and understanding. And he also really understood what was going on with the schools and how to support his child, not only support his child, but he also supported others in our classroom. So that's really what we need. We need strong male role models.
Hey,
I love
Yeah,
that.
love
and
it.
I wanted
Hmm.
to
Love it.
chime in
Yeah.
too, because that was
Hmm.
one of the things that one of the dads that I met said, that he felt as though this was all set up so it's just the moms. And so the dads were being excluded. And so what he decided to do with a few other dads was to create an opportunity for dads to come and eat lunch or spend time at the school with their child. Because if you're not present, nobody can prove that you exist, right? And that's what it really comes down to. Most of the time the schools are dealing with the moms, but some of us moms are not great moms, and so we do not so great things to the dads, and I've witnessed it, and it is very hard on the men who are trying to do things right. So I would just recommend, just like she said, to just be more present. And that's for all parents. At the end of the day, there are moms who are not very present, but dads are just taking the brunt force of all of that hate. But when you start showing up at the schools and being and saying, I want to be a part of this, or I want this to happen, or lunch with grandparents. I didn't even realize grandparents were going in there. They went in before the dads got in, right? So that meant somebody said that I want to spend time with this child, and in order to do that, they had to create a space to do so. So it's what I would recommend for anyone who wants to have more of an active role in that child's life.
That's
Oh,
a
wow.
really great
Mhm.
point, Tabatha. I think the most successful year I had as a classroom teacher, I was teaching 4th grade, and I knew before the year started I was going to have a really heavy load of students in my room with a lot of needs. So I created a volunteer system for my class, and I included parents, moms and dads. It went out to anybody who gave me an email address could be a part of it. And each week I sent out, this is what I need done, or this is what I need help with. Who can help me? And people signed up every week. I had more volunteers than I needed. I had people volunteering to come in and help me run literature circles, and working one-on-one with students that needed that extra mentor support. And I had moms, dads, grandparents, siblings. I mean, it was a really cool experience. So any way you can to get families involved, makes it more of a community. And the more of a community it is, the better the kids are going to learn.
Love that. I love that. Absolutely. I completely agree. Mike, you said, what are your thoughts about that?
That was gold advice for everyone. Tabatha, I want to piggyback one last thing on this topic. Hey, it's like playing Where's Waldo. I was terrified. I'm not scared of much, all right? But I was terrified to drop my kid off at school, man. I'm still scarred. So here's my suggestion, man. Go on Amazon, get you a $30 drone, school administrators or whoever's in charge of this, and give us a video. Because if I had a video of what's supposed to happen, I've been okay. But if you get a crayon out and draw a bunch of arrows on it with a road map, it's not drawn to scale. Most dads, especially country dads, it's just them are like bumper cars, man. Just running around and just so do everybody a favor. Make sure that map makes sense, please. That's a God. Yeah. So my wife said, "What's homeschooling?" The first thing I thought was I don't have to drive a kid to school twice a year. I was like, all right, that's a bad reason to homeschool, is it not? All right, I'm done.
Yeah, Mike, you always make us laugh with your with your stories, I must say. I was just like, oh gosh, he just really said that. But
I
yes,
did.
he did. That's how he is. So, but the other thing that is always stuck to me, just because again, and I drive this point that I'm a single mommy, and sometimes I just feel that I don't have that support as a mom for other resources, even though I'm highly educated. Sometimes my own I get in my own way of getting that help to feel the support. I've My gosh, for the last 2 years, after my separation, I battle depression, I battle anxiety, and some of that goes on to your kids. The kids see it, especially now that my girls are starting to grow up a little bit. They see it. How, as parents, do we equip ourselves to have these conversations with them that they're uncomfortable, right? But at the same time, they build that rapport with the child that they feel like they can come and talk to you with if should anything happen. And so that's one question. Another question is bullying in school. That's the other one that I wanted to talk about. I know that that's it's very sensitive, but we need to discuss on how to handle that if that happens. So anybody can take on that. I know it was 2 parts. Anyone?
You don't want me to
I'm
go
not
first, especially
afraid.
on the bully question. No.
No, I'm not afraid. I'll take it.
All right. I love Tabitha for that fellow texting.
One thing is this. I did have a post about being able to listen to your children, right? If we do not listen to them for the small things, they'll never come to us with the big things. Okay. It's just that simple. When you can sit down to a child, some of the stuff they be talking about is gibberish, but to us, but to them, it's massive. So we want to treat things accordingly. So my suggestion always is to just come down to their level and allow them to communicate with you. You don't always have to agree, but understanding their viewpoints and their vantage point will open up the door for when the bigger stuff comes in. because when the bigger stuff comes in, you need them to be able to talk about it. One of the things that bothered me the most about what I'm doing is that the adults shut my niece down. And the problem with shutting down a child when they're trying to communicate with you is that it has a long lasting impact. She is now 10 years later. Now she doesn't communicate very well. She doesn't use her voice any longer. Things like that. That's how shutting a child down actually harms them in a long run, and it impacts so many areas of their life. So that's the one thing I will say as far as the communication part is concerned. It's really important that we actually allow them to talk about it. Now, when it comes to the bullying part, see, that's the big one, right? They can't talk to you about bullying because they can't talk to you about the fact that somebody pulled their hair, right? They can't talk to you about the fact that that teacher said something to them that made them feel bad, right? That teacher did not, their intention wasn't that, but it made that student feel bad. So when you're saying bullying, if you say, okay, tell me if somebody's bullying you, why would they tell you? You didn't listen when they told you that Amber pulled their hair, and the first thing you said is, just move along, let Amber be Amber. But that's not the point. You need to say, my boundaries, these are your boundaries, this is what needs to happen. But please keep in mind, I know my children better than I know anybody else's children, right? I know mine. And so mine, if you tell me my child is bullying, I'm going to be like, okay, show me the example, show me what we need. Don't tell me, don't say, I'm not that parent that says, never my kid, because that is when you always get caught up and it's your child that's bullying, right? So be mindful. There are two sides to a bully. You're either the perpetrator or you are the prey. So at the end of the day, if somebody says so-and-so is being bullied, or somebody is bullying me, you have to listen and then go ahead and respond to what the information you pull in. Because I'm sick and tired of this bullying crap, and I'm sick and tired of people telling me that it's not real and it's all on the parents and the children. Stop victim blaming. It is not the victim's responsibility to solve that problem. That problem is bigger and it continues on further than education. So no, knock it off. You go ahead and listen, pay attention, and watch. And then you can go ahead and get with impact and have them go ahead and put in something. If you see something, say you can anonymously report it. And then that way you won't have that. So there's so many different options out there. One, listen to your children. Two, make sure that you understand it. It can be your kid too. So if they're bullying or being bullied, or if they're the bully and being bullied, then you need to address that. And then three, look for other things and ask your schools to adopt programs that are going to help keep your children safe, because it's your tax dollars. They're paying their salaries. And regardless of what they say, think, or feel, at the end of the day, you deserve to say what is and is not in your schools.
Dadgummit, Raquel, you
Oh
hear this?
my God.
Daggum.
Tabitha for president. Like,
Yeah, I don't know how you
seriously, I
follow that.
no joke.
Dang.
Like, perpetual golden nuggets drop. And I was like, I didn't even ask for golden nuggets, but I think that was hers. But oh my gosh, you gave us like three things there, major key players. And I hope the audience is taking notes, just because it's amazing. Thank you so much for that, Tabitha. I know, Christine, you wanted to chime in, or somebody wanted to chime in off of that.
I
I just want to make sure.
I was definitely going to jump in from the standpoint of we have programs in a lot of the schools called See Something, Say Something for bullying. And it's an anonymous tip line that kids can, dial in and report something. But the most important part of that is the relationship building. If kids have a relationship with their teacher, they're going to tell them things. I had kids come to me all the time to report things, even if they weren't the ones being bullied. It was, I'm worried about so-and-so, can you help them? And my job as a behavior specialist and working with kids with social emotional learning needs, kids would refer themselves to me and come and say, I need someone to talk to. And so kids are learning how to have more of a voice the older they get, for sure. But it all goes back to that relationship. If they think that they can trust you and they know that you're safe to be around, then they're going to open up and talk to you about things. So my big thing is going back to building those relationships.
Building the relationships, and that's always key. Like I said, yes, it takes a lot of effort, but at the end of the day, it is what is needed in order for that child to thrive in the school system. There's a lot of pressure on us. We don't know the pressures that they're going through unless they speak about them, and that's where we need to start building that rapport. But for those individuals who don't, like for example, who are experiencing bullying, my daughter, I experienced bullying back in high school, back in middle school and high school, so I know what that feels like. And my child, like I said, none of my children are going to experience that. They're not going to go through that. I zero tolerance for that. And so when my daughter came to me and said last year, "Oh, mommy, this is what's going on," and I was just like, "Oh, hell no, it's not going to happen in my watch. I will not stand for it." So I mobilized as much as I could with teachers, principals. If do we need to talk to that parent? Do we need to talk to that child to see pinpoint where the problem is coming from or what the issue is? And sometimes it's just pettiness, like children will just pick at whatever. I mean, I was picked on because I wasn't wearing Nike shoes or Adidas shoes, just because I was wearing some unbrand name shoes. And I'm like, this is dumb. This is the dumbest thing in the world. But you don't know how that can scar a person for the rest of their lives. So you nip it in the bud. And God, I mean, I think I've done an okay job at doing that, but it's been hard not having, let's say, like a male role model for my children at points. And I know Mike is big on this. He's a huge advocate on speaking up for his children as a male role model. And even if you don't have, their father, but if you have cousins or uncles who can step up to the plate and help with that really is, it takes a village, right? It really helps that. I know, Mike, you wanted to say something about that.
Go ahead, Kristin. She had something to interject first. She people want to hear from her first. You know that.
All right, Christine.
Okay. I just wanted to say is that bullying is a real issue, and there are places where you can do the anonymous tips, like Kristen had said, and Tabitha brought up a lot of fantastic points. What I have noticed too is in the younger grades, sometimes parents will be quick to say it's bullying before they get the whole story. So I caution parents to get the whole story first, because I had one child, just for instance, pulling on another child's hair. And I'm going to go quote unquote pulling, because upon closer inspection, once I started to talk to them and my children open up, so we talked about open communication. That is huge. So then that way we could figure out the root of the problem. She really liked the little girl's bow. She thought she had beautiful hair. She didn't use her words and pulled on her hair. So we talked about how to make friends and how to use our words and to say, "I really like your hair." We talked about personal space. Sometimes people don't like to be touched. So there is a difference between the bullying and not knowing how to make friends and that kind of thing. So it's crucial for adults not to jump the gun and say, "This is a bullying incident." We need to make sure that we are gathering all the information first, and then also contacting the parents. I contacted both of the parents. One, just to let them know, hey, they're trying to make friends. They don't know how to do it. Could you please help? And explained how to go about doing that. The other one, to let them know it was not a bully incident, but I will keep an eye out, because bullying is absolutely not tolerated. And I will not stand for that. And we take it very seriously, and I'll take it right to the principal. I do not mess around with that.
Absolutely. Mike?
I all amazing points on a very hot topic here, guys, and I just think, again, you know, on the same hand that a lot of dads, like especially hillbilly dads like me, we can't figure out how to drop our kids off on a basic map. But that's one area that we should be standing up for. And even if you're not a dad, there's a lot of single parents. My grandfather was very instrumental. My mom was a single parent. Or you're just in a capacity. Maybe you're just a friendly neighbor that knows. Don't overlook opportunities to help. Um, and just to the bullying point, again, I was bullied. And in the '80s, when you were bullied, you didn't talk about that. What you did is you watched Karate Kid and took karate. That's the only thing that was a solution in the '80s, right? So you went outside and punched a little pillow until you figure it out. And today, I just think that Christine's point where it's almost too much. Like anybody, like my little girl's like, they're bullying me. Well, they're flirting with you. They're awkward little boys. And I got news for you. They're not going to get better as we get older. It's going to get stupider. Right. So I think that that's just the roles that parents should be playing. We shouldn't expect our teachers to be teaching our kids, how to handle things and that. I mean, I pulled out Vikings, the TV series. I like see how Ragnar Lothbrok does the face and the confidence. As ridiculous as it sounds, the way she was dealing with it was my job to teach her life skills. And the things that I learned later, she learned now. So I taught her through watching TV and stuff and my own experiences how to handle these things. So they don't even go to the teacher or administrator. And if they do, she's not in the wrong, right? So I think you're right. We got to be paying attention whether our kids, where they're at. And it's our job to help them emotionally and equip them with the soft skills and the life skills, not our teachers. Our teachers supposed to be teaching math. And yes, they're good role models. But man, the other hours that they're home and on the weekends, that's up for us. And we got to take that serious. We can't be somehow all the teachers' problem. Look, teachers got enough stuff that they shouldn't be dealing with, in my opinion, anyway. Much less trying to teach your kids, how to handle conflict. Why don't you do that on the weekend and help everybody out? That's my opinion. I know it's very 1800 John Wayne-ish, but I think personal responsibility is the theme that I keep hearing on this panel, guys. And I 1,000,000% agree. Stop blaming everybody and get your unit together. Easier said than done.
Mhm.
I mean, look,
Mhm.
my glass house, you can't throw pebbles in it. That's fragile glass in my glass house. But but it's my responsibility, right? I don't blame other people.
Mhm.
We've got to step up to
Yes.
the plate as men and as people and parents in general, and as a society, in my opinion. So that's what I see this grassroots, this panel here. Y'all are just saying,
Mhm.
hey, we're going to make some positive changes. We're not going to wait for governments and other people to do it. And that's what we need. That's what we need. We need grassroots people who are just sick and tired of being sick and tired. And it starts with you.
Mhm.
What are you going to do each and every day to improve your life and your kids' lives and other kids' lives, man? That's all I
Right.
got.
No, no, no. I mean, those are fantastic points, Mike. And I do want to give a shout out to Michael Madero, because how he involves himself as a father, right? As a dad, he goes to all the meet the staff before the school year, because that's where they usually get the one-on-ones, and how to drop off pickup details and look for volunteer positions or lunch visit opportunities. And this is how you can become involved in getting, your visibility. You're visible to the school as to who you are, but also you're seeing what's in there for what kind of an environment your child is in on a daily basis. And to me, that is like very important, because I want to know who is around my kids. I want to know what influences they're getting, what vibes are around there. I get paranoid sometimes, but that's just me. Those are my stuff that I have to work through. But my gosh, y'all, I know we're like past the top of the hour, so I don't want to keep you guys here all day. Everything has been so valuable, but let's go ahead and if we had to give a golden nugget or a closing parting message, like what would you advise parents? And this is beyond the prep your, make sure the kids go to sleep soon, or early enough, make sure they're well fed. We're talking past that. I mean, we know that is common sense, right? That we got to feed our children well, make sure that they get enough sleep, make sure that they get enough exercise. But we're talking further past that, deeper than that. And so, what would be parting golden nuggets that you would leave our audience with, and the parents? So, whoever wants to take it first.
I'll jump.
I'll go ahead. I'll fight you for it. No, so the golden nugget that I have is that as parents and as educators, there's anxieties, and we were just talking about all of those anxieties that we have, is try to keep those away from our children as much as possible so they don't feel the anxiety coming down from us, especially if you have neurodivergent children like I have. They feed off of those emotions. And so when we show up and we're anxious, we have to be able to calm ourselves down so we can present ourselves the best that we can as we're sending them off to school. So we do not send them off to school in an anxious way.
And one thing that I forgot to ask: how do people connect with you if they like to have more information? You have gazillion years of experience in the education industry.
They can connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you.
Okay, so we've had this amazing QR code there, and I'll just post it a little later, just to make sure that individuals know how to get a hold of you, and if they want any extra information or guidance, right? Because it is important. So, okay, well, thank you so much, Christine. Who is next? Don't make me pick now. Nobody's gonna go
I'll
next.
jump
Go,
in.
Kristin. Oh, she's just sitting there. She's like waiting for Tabitha. I'm not gonna pounce
She,
on it all, ma'am. Go
she should
ahead.
make them y'all fight for it. That's what.
I'm a
Oh
northerner and
Lord.
I'm Italian. I'm sorry. I can't help it.
Come on.
All right,
I was
Kristen.
just going to say, I think the biggest piece of advice, especially, as the year starts, I used to tell my parents at curriculum or back to school night, ask 3 before me, something that we always used to say to kids, ask 3 other people before you interrupt the teacher to find out the answer. Same for parents. If you have a question about a field trip or about, what day is the book fair starting, don't email the teacher that. Call somebody from the class, call the room parent, call the school, reach out to someone else. That if you're emailing that kind of question, they're probably getting that same email from 10 other parents. So one of the things that I used to encourage was parents had to exchange phone numbers with at least 3 other people in the classroom to be able to do that.
Oh,
And nowadays it would probably even be email addresses as well. But it was, you go to your 3 people before you interrupt the teacher with that information. And it wasn't to be negative. Chances are I was giving them the information anyway in my weekly newsletters and, email blasts and all that stuff. But it eliminated a lot of unnecessary questions and emails that definitely fill up those inboxes very quickly, especially if you're serving, upper elementary grades. There were years I had up to 70 kids because we changed kids for subjects. So, that's a lot to manage. So,
oh my gosh. Yeah, it definitely sounds like a lot to manage, but necessary. It's
yes.
it's needed. Okay, well, Miss Tabitha,
Yeah.
she's been patient with waiting.
Be
She's
the
been so
one.
quiet.
I'm gonna do it. For me, I just want to say communication. At the end of the day, it comes down to communication. You have to make the time to communicate with your children and your teachers. Your life cannot be too busy to communicate with somebody who has a part to do with your child's day, period. So make it a point, be intentional about the relationships and the communications that you're having for your children, with your children, and with the village. That is going to make a tremendous change and impact to your child's day and the rest of their life, because these are the examples that you will see emulated when they have children of their own.
Amazing, amazing. And how can people get a hold of you, Madame?
Oh yeah, so I'm on link. I am on LinkedIn. I do actually run a series called Save Our Kids on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern time, so you can always chime in there. And then just connect with me on LinkedIn, because I'm always open to conversations and looking for those parents, those tiger parents, both the husbands and the wives, single parents or not. I'm always looking to build my community and my village around the children and the families that I support.
Love that so much, Tabitha. Thank you, thank you. And last but not least, Mr. Mahashabranner.
Oh wow, dude, I don't know about you, but this panel, holy cow, man! This is, if this is representative of our nation, then I'm hopeful now of our school system and the hope it brings, man. Because these, this is the stuff that should be on the news, but unfortunately, the news doesn't like all that feel good. So I would just say, from a dad or male perspective, right? There's grandparents and there's other folks and there's foster parents. So again, just from the male perspective, or at least the hillbilly one, I would say be intent. A lot of times dads, and not just me, but a lot of dads are wondering, what can I do? Like, we don't know what to do. Like we have to be given instruction. Hey, go pick the kids up at 3 and don't forget the little sticker. Like, I need that, right? If you say, hey, dad, help out, I'm like, what's that mean? So a lot of times I think, especially we're all busy, be intentional, man. Sometimes, well, what am I supposed to do? Just be present. Make an intention to be present. Listen and just be there. It doesn't take a whole lot, man. If you just go and play dolls, they'll tell you how to play dolls, right? If you just listen, they're going to tell you they got a problem, right? Or, and here's something I use, the concrete guys. talk about your day. Like if you suspect something's going on, you see your daughter or son or somebody getting upset, talk about your day. Say, hey, this happened to me and I'm not proud of it, but here's how I handled it. And they look at you like, what? Yeah, look, it's not that it's not just you, right? So I think if you just find a way to relate, to be open about things, um, you'll be amazed about how the kid would just open wide up and just start talking like that. So it's don't be afraid to initiate. How are you?
Mhm.
I'm here for you. Little nuggets like that
Mhm.
from dad go a long daggone way. So that's what that's my encouragement. Just be there. You don't have to be slick. Look at me. But they know I'm here. And if they need me, they will. My little girl tells on herself. Almost I'm conflicted because she trusts me so much that she feels so bad and guilty. But sometimes I'm like, girl, you're supposed to do that in private. Like, like sometimes I wish I didn't know that you spilled the cat
Mhm.
food everywhere and then cleaned up last week and now I got ants. So I think if you want to build a relationship, a lot of that stuff is easy. Just let the kid know you're there, man. Let them know you're listening. It's not that complicated, guys. Just be there.
I love that. I love that because it's such a small thing, but such an essential thing to be able to just tell your kids, yes, I'm here, but I'm still your parent. You and I can talk because I know that there's some advocates. They're like, yeah, you're not going to be your child's best friend, but I'm like, okay, there has to be a fine line that they know. Yes, they can approach me with anything and everything that is on their mind, any fears, doubts, concerns, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, that I am a parent, and whatever I advise is on their best interest, which sometimes kids, obviously, they're not going to see it that way, but it's the truth. So man, like we could do like a whole series on this just because there's so much to unpack. No joke. But I know for sake of time and for everybody's Saturday that they're got to do a lot of stuff. We're gonna probably yeah, set up a second. Let's check like fall. Let's see how our fall is going in school edition. But other than that, my gosh, Goa, it just thank you so much for being here, for taking the time of just you guys are so amazing. Like I don't say it enough. What you do is imperative. What you do, the type of work you do is essential for keeping the peace at home, in the sense of knowing that our children are safe as much as they can be, and that we're entrusting them to individuals who care. So thank you. If you haven't heard that from anybody else on a daily basis, we appreciate you. Well, without further ado, guys, that this is pretty much it. I wanted to just say, please don't forget to connect with everyone on the panel. We have all of us have LinkedIn accounts, and if you haven't heard of us, well, where you been? Because we're pretty much everywhere, and we're making a difference in the world. And I say that because at the end of the day, education is the foundation of everything that we do in life. And these four heroes here are amazing in what they do. So thank you again. Thank you to the audience who chimed in with comments, with questions. Feel free to reach out to anyone here. And don't forget to check us out next Saturday. We will also be having another show. It will be at 11 Eastern a.m. And you have another fantastic set of panelists. We'll be discussing so many different things. I don't want to spoil the beans just yet. It's a surprise, but it's going to be a great one. But anyhow, guys, thank you so much. I will wrap it up now. I appreciate you, and y'all have a fantastic rest of the day. Bye.
Hi, ladies.
Thanks for joining us, and I hope our chat inspired you to make a new connection. Please like and subscribe, and let's build a great community in our little corner where we get serious business done by injecting fun. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, come back to Raquel's Connection Corner.